Alright guys, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows, because just a few days ago we were seeing reports about how this game had hit 3 million players in just 7 days, and that sounds amazing. It sounds incredible. If I had a game that had 30 people playing it, I'd be honored, right? 3 million, I can't even fathom. But the crazy thing about this is a lot of people are still asking the question, how many sales, not how many players. And again, if you're new to this whole situation, you might be scratching your head going, that's kind of retarded. 3 million players is 3 million sales. But oh no. The problem is this game launched on Ubisoft Plus, Ubisoft subscription service, which is similar to Game Pass. So these are people essentially renting these games. They didn't purchase them. They spent a fraction of the price that would be necessary to purchase the game to play it on a 1-month subscription. And of course, they can cancel it whenever they want to. So again, it is a fair question to say how many people purchased this game. But of course, Ubisoft's not going to say. Now, here's the better part. You get to today. Here we are a few days removed from, again, all these articles talking about 3 million players. Google it. There's no update. We haven't hit 4 million players. We haven't hit 5 million players. They haven't finally announced sales totals. It's like media blackout out here. I'm not even kidding. Google it for yourself. Look up Assassin's Creed Shadows sales and see the articles that pop up. Now, here's potentially the reason why. Just a couple days ago, around the same time they stopped talking about total players of Assassin's Creed Shadows, Ubisoft announced that there'd be a merger of sorts, a new subsidiary with Tencent, where they were shipping off Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and a couple other franchise titles to this new company. So of course you see articles like this from that Park Place saying Ubisoft employees fear layoffs after a Tencent deal and new subsidiary formation. Well, that's because a lot of people are rightfully uncertain about where they stand with the company in this new shakeup. Because if you're moving a lot of the IPs away to a new company and giving 25% control of that new company to Tencent, of course the Chinese conglomerate, the people who are still at Ubisoft are going to go, well, what am I working on now? What am I going to do? Guess what? Internal emails indicate that there's probably going to be some layoffs, probably going to be some shakeups. And of course, they're telling people, stay calm. We don't know anything yet. But again, if I were working at Ubisoft, I would not be able to stay calm right now. Worse than that, we are seeing anonymous reports. And again, these are rumors. Again, these are things that are posted anonymously on Facebook and then shared on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. So take it with a grain of salt. But a lot of people saying basically that they've been incentivizing, Ubisoft has, their employees to take their bonuses and reinvest them as essentially Ubisoft shares, right? Buying shares of the company. And this anonymous post says now that hundreds of millions of shares are being, purchased with the creation of this new entity, moving the most profitable IPs under it and opening the path for the old entity bankruptcy, their money are basically worth nothing now. So essentially people have spent years of bonuses and investments with the company on shares that essentially have now been devalued due to the fact that Ubisoft is starting this new subsidiary. What's even funnier is a lot of the shill accounts that we've seen on Twitter, all the big accounts talking about how amazing Shadows is and how you're a bigot if you don't like it. They've all stopped talking about that. Now they're all complaining about how bad the parkour is in Shadows and talking about how great it was in Unity. And they're also working as mouthpieces for this new subsidiary to talk about all these potential projects, all these reboots, new games set in China during the year 215 BCE. It's just BC, guys. You don't have to say BCE. Then, of course, you have the potential for an Assassin's Creed 1 remake, okay? You've got another report saying that we're going to be getting a Black Flag remake. So all of a sudden, nobody cares about Shadows anymore, and everything is all about these remakes. Now that they've suddenly shifted gears, and Ubisoft has this new company where Tencent came in and essentially bailed them out and gave them, 25% stake in the company so that they can work on these Assassin's Creed titles. What's even more fascinating is that the media is finally admitting that Japan doesn't like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Remember, this last year we've seen for, God, it feels like half the year last year, that all the media sites were running around saying, oh no, Japan doesn't care about Assassin's Creed Shadows. They're not offended. Nobody there's bothered by the black samurai butchering people. It's all a bunch of these anti-woke bigots pretending to be Japanese people online. It's a nothing burger, right? Well, just a few days ago, you see articles like this from Forbes saying new Assassin's Creed releases to strong reviews, but sparks anti-woke backlash and roils Japanese government. Yes, even the Japanese government has jumped in on this. Polygon, a couple days ago, saying Assassin's Creed Shadows Japanese reviews reframe the historical accuracy debate. Their critics like it. Well, the critics might like it, but the people hate it. And the funniest part about it is this person here trying to convince you that Japan loves this game is the same person who I believe is a woman LARPing as a man, who was quoted as a Japanese expert, Japanese consultant, who took the name of an anime character and previously worked as a consultant for Sweet Baby Inc. even went on to say on their Twitch stream that he or she or whatever that creature is couldn't get a job in the video game industry now that they had been working for Sweet Baby Inc., that they were essentially blacklisted, right? So, actual articles, like this one here, says Japanese PM Ashiba condemns Assassin's Creed video game over cultural disrespect of shrine. This is the legitimate story coming out of Japan now. Japanese politicians, the shrines themselves, the companies around them are taking up arms and saying, we're not putting up with this crap, we're not going to stand for this, you guys have to change this, fix this, because we are done with this situation. You can see Shohei Kondo here, again a Japanese YouTuber who's taken a lot of heat over his coverage of this game, saying in Japan, Assassin's Creed Shadows sold 17,701 copies. To be honest, that's a lot. Using common sense, I was expecting somewhere between 20 to 50. Happy for you, Tencent. And of course, the Decembero down here says, I know 17,000 people are a lot of people, but by the industry standards, it's not a lot of sales. It's actually really bad, especially comparing it to similar games made in the West but set in Japan, such as Ghost of Tsushima. And of course, Ghost of Tsushima sold 1 million copies in Japan, and I believe around 200,000 copies in just the first week alone. So if you compare this 200,000 copies to the 17,000 of Assassin's Creed Shadows, you cannot tell me that there's not a controversy there that is massively affecting the sale of this game in Japan. Pirate Nation pointing out that Assassin's Creed Shadows sales in Japan dropped 60% from Valhalla. You can see just massively down here on the charts. It's absolutely insane how poorly this game is doing in Japan. Now today, Shohei Kondo put out a new video talking about the situation where, again, the government and the shrines themselves are saying enough is enough. Please do something about this. We don't want you promoting this game in Japan anymore. We don't want you selling it here anymore. He says, actually, Ubisoft received a letter from a shrine, and the Todaji Temple and a Japanese shrine organization are asking them to stop promoting Assassin's Creed Shadows in Japan, but they kept ignoring it. Now Japanese politicians are considering their next step. Do the right thing, Ubisoft. To which he has doubters here saying your video doesn't provide an actual letter sent by them, which is classed under misinformation as a TOS violation, unless you can prove the latter statement is not a fake. This person must be a blast at parties. You sound like a real hoot. But of course, we actually have the letter here. And Shohei Kondo says, I have permission to share the contents of the letter from Japan to Ubisoft. It was sent on 3/10, and they confirmed Ubisoft Japan received it. If I'm lying, Ubisoft would sue. No lies, no BS on my channel. So the first letter here says, Dear Sir or Madam, we hope that you are enjoying the prosperity of our company at this time. Now, I'm just going to say right now, some of the words are translated very strange. I don't know if they mean country or company. I'm very confused about some of these words here. We would like to take this opportunity to express our firm protest against the outrageous and disrespectful behavior of the supposed protagonist in the Assassin's Creed Shadows game from Ubisoft, even in a virtual space in which the name of our company's actual shrine is clearly stated, and in a place that may be within the premises of the shrine. The shrine has been in existence for more than 1,400 years and is the chief town center of the former Harima province. It is a well-known shrine that has been revered by successive generations of provincial governors, guardian lords, and lords of Himeji Castle. There are worshippers of the company throughout the country, and during the New Year's holidays, people at large, as large as the population of Himeji City, visit the shrine. We have been inundated with inquiries from people who have seen the video, which may have been set in our company and it is interfering with our daily business. We would like to request that you immediately stop the production and sale of this video. Sincerely yours. The next one here is a little more interesting in my opinion. This is the Hyogo Prefectural Shinto Shrines Agency, which has jurisdiction over 380 shrines in the Hyogo Prefecture. In the video, a samurai named Yasuke, who is one of the main characters in the game, is seen wielding a sword and holding a drum, a mirror, and an altar in the shrine's hall of worship at the Sagatate Hyoshu Shrine in Himeji City, Hyogo Prefecture. In one of the videos, of course, he smashes the mirror, right? It says that even though this is a story in a virtual space on a game set in Japan during the Warring States period and no actual damage has been done to the shrine, the location is Himeji, and the impact on the actual shrine seems to be a notation 12 shrines as well as the, I'm not going to try to pronounce that word, is still present today. This is not just a matter of one shrine, but is a matter of concern for all the shrines in the Hyogo Prefecture and throughout the country, and it is truly regrettable. We therefore request that the use of the names that could identify actual shrines be avoided. We also understand, I'm going to skip here, that the main characters in this game, the ninja and the samurai, are capable of stealth and combat, but we have doubts about the specifications to allow them to attack and destroy non-hostile NPCs. Even if Japan was a war-torn country at this time, it would be unthinkable to massacre the people of a non-hostile force in a non-war zone under normal circumstances, and in addition, vandalism of sacred places and attacks on worshippers would never be tolerated, no matter what religion in the world. In the history of Shintoism, the destruction of shrine buildings as well as of the sacred object is unprecedented in the history of Japan, including that of the Japanese of that time. We have heard that your game has received a lot of feedback from home and abroad, and we also have heard that the cruel expressions that were included in the overseas version have been removed from the Japanese version. We strongly request that the Japanese version of the game at least modifies the program to prevent such acts of destruction and carnage in sacred places or on the streets, although we believe that this functionality is already included in the overseas version, and of course is from the Hyogo Prefectural Shinto Shrine office to the Ubisoft Corporation. So again, you can go check the video from Shohei Kondo. He's got more information in there. I'll link it down below. Very interesting stuff. I find it very fascinating that, again, that the media has been trying to tell you nobody in Japan is really bothered by this. The politicians are concerned about it. But here you have actual proof that the prefectures themselves, the agencies that represent the shrines, the politicians who are being receiving inquiries about this, are saying enough is enough. We are sick and tired of this. So again, I'm going to leave it to you guys in the comments to kind of decide what you think of all this. Let me know your thoughts, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.